What's up? This is Angelo Ferrer coming out of Kasai City, Japan, representing up Level Up Gym and Kajukenbo, Yoga, Japan. Today, we're going to be going over the Backfist. Now before we even start this video, I have to let you know there's about a million other videos about how to do the Backfist. I personally don't believe there is only one way to do anything, and that's kind of a Kajukenbo thing. The way I do my Kajukenbo might be different by the way. From the way you do your Kajukenbo if you're watching this and you come from a Kajukenbo school. Now what I can say is because the acronym of Kajukenbo includes Ka for karate, Ju for judo and jiu-jitsu, Ken for kempo and kung fu, and Bo for boxing and kickboxing. If you look at all these styles, some of them don't even have a backfist. For example, I believe boxing and Muay Thai, it's illegal to throw a backfist. So, let's just kind of throw that out there before we even start. A little bit of theory. A backfist can be thrown in several different ways, depending on what style you adhere to. Now, I grab all that and I throw it all away, and I look at what works and what's worked for me. This may not work for you. Keep that in mind as I show this. So our backfist. I'm going to show you a few different ways that people like to throw a backfist. One way is having the hand straight forward like that. The Irish boxer backfist. Here, you know, put them up, put them up, put them up, right? That kind of a thing. The Irish boxer backfist is just straight, goes right there. Different angle there. Then there's the Bruce Lee backfist. I gotta be very careful. I know a lot of people that follow Jeet-Kune-Do and look at this, that's not the Bruce Lee backfist. Even they argue amongst themselves about this. But, more or less, instead of the Irish backfist coming in here straight, it's gonna come more of an angle vertical, going this way, from the shoulder. They're also gonna emphasize not telegraphing your movement as you do this. They're gonna say that you shouldn't throw the back fist while moving your feet. In other words, you shouldn't move your feet and then throw the back fist. They're really big on this on Jeet-Kune-Do. I'm not a Jeet-Kune-Do practitioner. I'm just telling you what I've heard and what I've talked to from people that do practice that style, or method, I should say. Now let's talk about how I like to do a back fist. One way you can practice the back fist to avoid what I would say, and I do agree with, is you don't want to move your body without your hand. Because now what you're doing in sparring is you're moving towards your opponent with nothing. You're just essentially just moving forward, and your opponent can counter you. And then even worse, if you're bringing your back fist down, which you should never do for any punch, you're opening yourself up as you step in to a counter. So you do want to keep these things in mind. When you throw a back fist, have a guard hand. Have your hands up, okay? Hands up. This is a basic rule of any style. Keep your hands up. As your hands are up, you throw the back fist as you step forward with it. As you can see the footwork behind it. I personally like to kind of take a small cross step. I go from a boxer stance to a vertical stance and return to my boxer stance. This has to do with my experiences in MMA and grapplers trying to tackle you. If you stay in this position, if you like to fight like this with your feet sideways, point karate style, what's going to happen is a good grappler, maybe a bad grappler, or any grappler for that matter, is going to grab your legs and you're going to be tackled to the ground. You're going to have absolutely no base to come out back into a sprawl. So the way I like to do it is from a boxer stance, nice and wide, come in, step into the back fist for a vertical punch, for that vertical stance, and then come back into your boxer stance so that you have some stability. So it looks a little something like this. And it's kind of like a 1-2 punch back. 1-2, back fist, back. I'm trying to step this down slow. The way I do it in actual practice is like right there. Now you can do several ways. I cross between open hand and closing my hand. You gotta remember the back fist is not a knockout punch. So I mostly just want to stun my opponent to lead to something else. Maybe it'll be a back fist reverse punch to the ribs. It might even be a back fist into a single leg. Or it might be a back fist into a side kick. But the back fist is not the end all. It's kind of like a version of a jab, if you will, that comes at a different angle. Which brings us to our other thing. If you want to throw jabs, you throw your jab. And as you throw your jab, you can throw the back fist in there to kind of throw off the angle, because the jab comes forward while the back fist comes in a circular movement. So you can kind of set up your opponent by throwing a few jabs, having him tap your hand. And as he gets used to straight vertical attacks, you're coming with the back fist around their guard. All right, now let's go ahead and move the timing bag talk about how to practice this on the timing bag. Okay, so we're at our timing bag. I should probably throw a disclaimer, I haven't mentioned this, I should have mentioned this way earlier. I am a southpaw fighter. You can do this from regular, but just keep that in mind if for some reason you're trying to figure out why I don't even want to get into this too much, but I will say that some people insist that that's not even getting into it. Some styles make a big deal about being southpaw regular. I'm southpaw. That's why you might see this at a different angle. Either way. So I'm going to set up here, so my back is on the timing bag, and the timing bag's great because it's going to come back at you. You're going to hit it and then come back. Hit it, come back. Make sure that your hand doesn't stay down. Throw your back fist, you bring your hand up. Throw your back fist, bring your hand up. Throw your back fist, out of the way. Back fist, step back. Back fist, step back. Back fist, step back. Back fist, dodge. Back fist, dodge. Back fist, dodge. Back fist, step back. Back fist, bobbing. You can intertwine between these things, but whatever you do, don't let the bag hit you in the face. Because most likely, after a back fist, an opponent might flail and throw something at you, and you have to have the reaction speed to get away from them. From there, you can work other combinations, but right now, we're just talking about the back fist. Finally, one last thing you can do to kind of work on how to move your feet for the back fist, and I'm going to end with this because some people may or may not need this kind of practice, is the idea that since I am going to be moving the hand at the same time as the body, one little drill that my instructor, Professor Ronnie Chambers Club here, taught me was to, as I step out, I grab. So this is not really about a back fist, it's about learning the movement, how not to telegraph your movement. So as you step out, you're going to try to time your step as you grab and then you pull yourself forward. So you grab and pull yourself forward. 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 Try to time it so that as your hand comes out, at the same time you're slightly moving forward and then you're pulling yourself forward afterwards, like this. And that's just to get you used to that motion. I do it from a boxer stance again. I grab, pull myself forward. Grab, pull myself forward. Grab, pull myself forward. And then from there, after you've done it a few times, try to work on throwing the back fist at the same time as your back foot is propelling you forward, so that you're not putting your body forward for your fist. All right, that pretty much wraps up my tutorial on how I like to do the back fist. If you like to do the back fist differently, hey, post a video, put it in the comments. I'll show it to all the people that watch this. It's not that many. But hey, if you have a different approach or a different theory or whatever it is, put it in the comments. I'd be more than happy to share it on my Facebook page and my other social media outlets. This is Angelo Ferrer coming out of Kajukenbo, Japan. Train your mind, body, and spirit every day. Catch you all next time. Peace.